I want to welcome this bill this evening and to congratulate our Green colleagues for bringing it forward and for demonstrating that sense of leadership and urgency in bringing forward. This is the latest in a series of bills and motions that very much reflect our programme for government and our shared future and all that we should be doing together and are doing as a sense, with that sense of urgency. I suppose the biggest surprise was the fact that it's needed at all. And when I first spoke about it with Senator Riley, in that context, it was surprising that schools should automatically always have solar panel or have that sense of a drive towards renewable energy. And I suppose in that I would wave two flags. One would be in any design of any school forever going forward, we need two things. We need ASD classes and we need solar or renewable energy provisions. And I would be very much concur with what has been said earlier this evening, that this should be mandatory. In fact, the opt-out, you need to have a very good reason as to why to opt out. And I do understand the concerns of aviation. However, that doesn't stack up if you've got Dublin Airport with solar energy. What I understand from the briefing from Friends of the Earth is that Dublin Airport already has a major solar panel installation in place since 2019. And if that's the case, then some of the concerns that are delaying the implementation of the regulations or this bill or that would hold back on that, I find that a little bit curious. That if we can do it at Dublin Airport, the busiest airport in the country, then surely to goodness we can manage whatever is delaying here and overcome the impediments as quickly as possible. Solar is, so we're in a queue waiting for them to be put on the roof of our house at home, and I'm very excited about what this winter will hold and see our energy bill go down, hopefully. But I mean, from a school's point of view, it makes sense to show that leadership, to embrace that excitement and urgency of this generation. And I think you very eloquently addressed that, so I'm not going to repeat what you have said. But certainly it respects that drive from the generation that are coming up and challenging us to make sure that we're innovative with regard to our renewable energy and responsible with regard to the climate and to our Earth. So from that point of view, I think that we need to do this with a real sense of urgency, but also other buildings, community centres. There's so many possibilities across the whole country whereby I would see this as being an opportunity for a better use of their income, a better use of whatever grant aid, whatever is coming like that, but also then the ability to maybe generate an income is really. So what's not to love about this bill? What's not to love about a momentum towards solar energy as insofar as anywhere that it can go, let us go. And I note Senator Cummins earlier on mentioning the Waterford company that has this inbuilt into roof slates. So, you know, we can do it in a very accessible way and in a very non-intrusive way. I understand communities' concerns when it comes to wind, naturally, but for solar there really isn't an excuse anymore. You know, I see on my own road that transition from the old that looked like, you know, drain pipes stuck onto the roof to now this very discreet and new development. So it really is to be embraced. I also think that if we move to a place where it was mandatory on publicly owned buildings, mandatory on schools, on all public buildings around the country, then there would come behind that a whole industry and a whole group of people who maybe we're coming into a phase now whereby our society won't live in the way that it did, remote working, changes in patterns and culture post-COVID. We're going to find ourselves in a situation where maybe our patterns will be different and some jobs will not open up, some businesses will not open up again. So there is that opportunity, and I really respect the drive from Minister Simon Harris's department to look at further and higher education, to look at innovative courses, but I think that we could probably push more towards that in ensuring that people are reskilled and upskilled and given new skills. If we are moving towards mandatory, there is no reason why we wouldn't. So there's there's nothing not to love about this, and I completely commend my colleagues. Well done, a lot of hard work, and to you, Minister, as always, for being here and being so responsive. And my last pitch would be with regard to the funding of loans, microloans perhaps, to assist organisations. We can also work in the community in maybe facilitating and working on the credit unions, and on credit unions being able to play. They're awash with money and desperate to loan it out at the moment. The rules around them are prohibitive to them being able to match the innovation that they would like to go to. This would be a perfect marriage. It is community that have knowledge of their community and knowledge of the ability to pay, and build in also the income that would come in the future. So from that point of view, I think that there is another opportunity in it. But thank you, and thank you, colleagues.